So basically, I think that spells and praying I consider it kind of the same thing. Christians are setting off the same energy that we are when we're casting a spell. They're just doing it differently. They're sending it somewhere else. They're sending it to God, and we're sending it out into the universe, and you know what I mean? So that's what I think of when I think of spells now. Kind of just, but, clearly, like, I'm not saying it's the exact same thing as praying. It's just very similar to me. It's just praying with the intention of, like, doing it kind of, like, not asking for help. Like, they're asking for help, and we're not, help me here.
Trying to make it happen. Like,
we're taking control and doing it, but we're not doing it by ourselves. Like, clearly we're asking for help with, the god and the goddess and in the elements, we're not doing it alone, but we are kind of not just sitting by and asking for help. We're
trying to do something.
We're doing something about it. Like, we're getting off our ass and doing something.
Yeah. Okay.
Occult. We're definitely going to turn this down. Occult.
Okay.
This is a very controversial word.
I think a cult is
not a cult.
Yes.
Occult. Occult.
That's what I think. I think that people often consider them the same thing.
Yes.
Like, so
they
people
hear
think
that's what they
cult,
hear.
So they think of, like, crazy people.
Like Charles Manson.
Yes. Or, like, people who do mass suicides and, like, stuff like that. So I think that's where that often gets confused. And so I think just as humans in our ear hearing that, so if you were to say occult in a conversation, people automatically will go to a cult, like
a cult. Yeah, I definitely agree. That because now I don't. When I hear of the occult, I think of tarot cards and, because it actually means, I think it means like hidden or mystery or secret. That's what it means. Whatever. The word occult derived from the Latin occultanum, whatever, literally means secret. I don't know, like that's when I think of the occult, I think of like palm readers and tarot cards and divination. I think of divination when I think of the occult, even though that's not really everything in the occult. But I think of witchcraft and stuff like that. But I definitely, if I walked into my grandmother's house and said I like to learn about the occult, she would like throw holy water at me and like push me out the door, because they definitely hear the word cult, so they freak out, and I think they also consider it like not just because I'm not saying like everybody in this world is Christian, but living in America where Christianity is the primary religion, it's that you get a lot of people who are like that's the devil's work, the occult. Anything that has to do with the occult has to do with Satan, which isn't true at all. The occult is not worshiping Satan at all.
Yeah.
So I wish that would change. The next word is pagan. What do you think of when you hear the word pagan?
I think of religion.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the thing. I think that's where people automatically, again, come up with a negative aspect of it with any kind of religion, like Christianity versus Catholicism, versus Judaism, like everything. I think no matter like who you are and no matter what your beliefs are, you're automatically gonna consider that like wrong teachings or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just because that's constantly an argument that happens in everywhere, like, especially in America, is based off of what religion is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that pagan, regardless of whether or not it's directed at being a religion, it's just people automatically consider, oh, well, that's wrong. Like,
Yeah. It does suck. Because, like, I hate to always throw out, like, Christian, and I just feel so bad, because I looked up somewhere that pagan is anything that's not an Abrahamic, am I saying that right? Abrahamic religion, which is Christianity, Judaism, and Muslim, right? Muslim? I'm thinking that is correct. Don't quote me on that. Anything that's not of Abrahamic, whatever, is pagan. I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's right, but that's what people consider pagan. But I remember when I was growing up, because I went to a very strict Christian school.
Me too.
Up until 7th grade, I was in Christian education. And I remember, we would have Bible class was just like math class or history class.
It was part of your schedule.
It was part of your schedule.
Like, yeah, Bible. That's so funny.
I know.
That you're Wiccan and I'm gay. So.
But it was every time they would, and the word pagan shows up a lot in the Bible. It really does when, and it was always considered like, I always think of idol worshippers, like pagan idols, like people that are pagan worship false gods.
Like the whole commandment thing.
Yes. So I always think, well, not now, but when, and I think a lot of people think that now, and growing up, that's what I, put that word with was with, idol worshippers, and not of God, and, sinful, and, false. You know what I mean? Like, the false way. The not true way. And I definitely don't agree with that now. I mean, pagan, doesn't that mean, country dweller? Pagan means of, country, country dweller.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with Christianity or idol worshiping at all. But that's what I used to consider that word with it. I mean, now I'm more comfortable saying pagan than I am Wiccan. I don't know why. I should be comfortable saying Wiccan just as well, but it's just one of those things. It's just I'm not going to go up to someone and be like, I'm a witch. Because people do associate witch with Wiccan. But because when I say I'm pagan, they stop and they think for a second, because they don't have all the notions that they do about Wicca.
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, oh, what's that? Which takes us into our next word, which is earth religion. And I consider this a segue word. When I say I'm pagan and people say, what's that? Because they're like, oh, tell me more about that. The next thing I immediately say, it's an earth-based religion. And I think when people are uncomfortable saying that they're Wiccan, or they're just, they're not uncomfortable, whether they're just kind of
got a notion, a preconceived notion of that.
Just if you're not scared to tell somebody you're Wiccan, because I don't want to say that we're scared. We're just kind of cautious, reserved, and we don't want to put it out there all the time. I mean, everyone's different, but my personal experience, I don't want to put it out there to every single person that I meet, because there are preconceived notions. So but I'm not going to lie, I do tell them that I'm pagan, but the first thing that I say is it's an earth-based religion, because I just feel like people are more comfortable with that.
Well, because I think that, there's so many people out there who are not necessarily pagan, or have any type of religion necessarily, they call themselves spiritual people, and they believe that, the earth has so much to do with things, and, and everything from the wind to the flowers to every living thing. And a lot of times that people don't realize that is a lot that's part of being pagan in that realm.
No.
Earth.
I think earth religion is a positive word, no matter how you put it.
Yeah.
If you're talking to somebody that's a little weary about what you believe, saying earth religion automatically calms them down. It makes you feel more comfortable. It makes them feel more comfortable. I don't think and you can, and it's without lying. Like you can tell them that you're an earth-based religion, and it makes them feel comfortable, and you're not lying about what you believe. I think it's a good word all around. Like if you are just starting out in Wicca, or you're young, and you're just not ready to be like, I'm a witch. You can. That's a very good way to start by telling people what you believe. Is that I'm in an earth-based religion.
Gotcha.
But I think all of these words, like, it sucks that there are double meanings to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we as a society really should, try to get a hold of that. And I think as pagans, I think, and it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, what should I do? It's like, should I be really open about it and force people, not force people, but like, should I be really open about it and try to do my best at making these, like, use these words more to make them not what society thinks of them, or should I just accept it and just...
Well, I think it's just, it's kind of hard to tackle that battle by yourself, because, I think no matter what it is, whether it has to do with being pagan or has to do with being Christian or Judaism, whatever, you know what I mean? Or being gay, or being a woman, or being, African American. Like, I think no matter what, there's always going to be people who have a negative light on them.
Yeah.
So it's might as well.
You might as well be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah, be comfortable with yourself. Live your life the way that you want to live it. Keep good people in your life. Keep good energies in your life, and and go forth on that, because it's like you can't change. Sometimes you can change opinions, but like it's something that there's always no matter what, there's always going to be some sort of negativity brought towards your beliefs or who you are, and it's just something that you kind of have to be like, okay,
And I think that's the point of the exercise is, there are a lot of negative connotations that go along with these words, but I think it's about you being comfortable with it. Are you comfortable with these words? Are you comfortable with the word Wicca, witchcraft, spell, the occult? Are you comfortable with it? Because if you're comfortable with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point of...
And that's just, it's something to instill yourself in any part of life, is be comfortable with yourself. Mm-hmm. And, and you can...
And letting the negative go from out of your mind, out of your life.
Exactly.
So, I guess that's everything for lesson 2. This was lesson 2 in my book. The next time I get a good... I think he heard the jingle jangle of my bracelets.
Oh.
He's crawling in the bed. Come here. Come on. Come say bye.
Come
say bye. He is not having it. Because we're signing off now, because this video is way too long and I have to do some serious cutting.
All right. Say bye.
Say bye. I love you. Well, there you go.